welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions, what I think's going to happen. Hey, we even talk about fashion on this show because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that from time to time. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. So you see, I'm wearing the purple robe. That means, for those who are new, it was a sleepy, sleepy week. I'm telling you, it was so sleepy that I didn't even really have to review anything because I was bored to tears. I was really bored. But we got to talk about what's going on, so we'll talk about that very shortly. And I'm wearing my beret as an ode to Ashley and her trip to Patty. You'll hear all about that. Okay, couple of disclaimers. If you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this might not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to miss something, I didn't say it, it's because I either plumb forgot or it just wasn't newsworthy. It's the nature of the beast, I like to say. So it is what it is. That's how I am, completely off the cuff. And don't forget, if you like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. Okay. I don't even know where to begin. It was so sleepy. Okay, we have not seen a lot of the host of characters, but again, I'm just going to go off of what I remember because it was such a yawner. And maybe it was momentous for you, but it just wasn't there. It felt completely flat. So let's talk about Daniel, Heather, and that little fast and fresh daughter that they have, Lucy. Okay, Daniel, you're out of my books. Heather, I don't even know if you actually made it into my books, but you're done. And Lucy, because I guess technically you're not of age yet, I should go a little soft on you, but you real fast and fresh, aren't you? You knew exactly what you were doing, and I said this before. She knows exactly what she's doing. Much like my kids, where sometimes they'll do things and I'm like, yeah, you knew what you were doing. You can't fool me. Why Lucy's parents were somewhat oblivious is beyond me. Okay, so basically, Heather had come over to Daniel's condo. In my head, why don't you have a key by now? I mean, it took you one night and then all of a sudden now you guys are hot and heavy again. I don't know. So she comes over to Daniel's place and Daniel's looking a little concerned because he had just had like a little conversation with Lucy. But he's still looking concerned with Heather because he's got in his brain the whole Lily story where, he wants to be like this upstanding guy. Newsflash, you ain't that upstanding if you did what you did. Just saying, just put it out there. You did Lily dirty. And she will get you. She will get you. Just like how Tucker says he is not over with Kyle, Lily will get you. Mark my word. Take that to the bank, Daniel Romalotti. Okay, so Heather is going on. She blithered on and on about, how am I supposed to be in the same room with you and not want to touch you and not want to, show my affection. And she all but said rip his clothes right off. And it's so difficult. Like I want to kiss you. And oh, okay. When did you turn into, Miss La La Love? Like, what? I don't even look at you that way, Heather. All you're doing is flipping your hair left, right, and center, you know, shaking it out. Just, you're a mess. You're just a mess. Like, I don't quite care for your character. Go back to Paul, your father, and just be with your father. I don't know what to say. So again, Daniel's sitting back going on about, I feel that way too. Again, one night only. That's all it took. Meanwhile, they're having their little conversation, and there's Lucy. She might as well have had like a glass up to the door because she was eavesdropping something fierce. But she had the door cracked open to, I guess it was her bedroom, aka the kitchen, because they go back there for the kitchen too. It's just weird. How'd that turn into her bedroom as well? But just saying. Think I didn't catch that, did you, set designers? Anyway, so she's eavesdropping on this whole conversation. All you see is like different facial expressions. One minute she's like, yay. The next minute she's like a little concerned over this conversation. At some point in time, the conversation cuts and Lucy makes a faux pas where you hear, like, I guess something with the door, or maybe she dropped something, I can't remember. Again, sleepy week. And Daniel's like, you can come out now, Lucy. And she comes out and she's like, oh, sorry. So they basically profess that they're like a full-fledged family again. What? Again, I say, off of one night? Now you're a full-fledged family? I must be missing something. I don't know how this could be. But anyway, they might as well have just like sat in a circle with their, their legs folded singing Kumbaya, because I just didn't get it. Like, he wants to tell Lily, as I said, be this upstanding guy. Heather's like, oh, I guess we can kind of like, I can hold off and kind of pretend a little bit, but like, I just want to grab you and hold you and I raise my eyebrow over this. Okay, enough of them. Who should we talk about next? Let's just get the elephant out of the room with Ashley and Traci, with a side plate of Jack and Diane. Okay. So Ashley, as you know, she took off on the plane to Paris, and Traci had joined her because that's what sisters do. Well, they go back to this the scene of the crime. Remember, I was like, maybe they should have like some detective gloves and like dusters to see if there's any like glass, because quite frankly, I think that they should have had that. Just, it would have been, I wouldn't have needed the purple robe. It would have been just glorious to see. Anyway, so they go back to this cafe, if you will. And lo and behold, the same waiter, where she's like, excusez-moi, parlez-vous anglais? And he, well, yes, I'm from America. What? So of all the people, because there was nobody else around at this bistro or cafe or whatever, you get the guy from America there? Okay. And there's nobody else there. So she's like, yeah, you remember me? And he's like, yeah. Hasn't she been home for weeks? And sir, you have quite the memory if that's the case. I'm just saying. Yeah, I remember you. She's like, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was here with a gentleman, and like basically, I was terrified, and he like threw glass and threw a chair, and the waiter's like, and basically, her story is null and void based on the accounts of this waiter. And basically, Ashley just kind of storms out. Whew. And she ends up calling Tucker, ding, 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 with the weirdest Paris backdrop. Side note. I'm quite positive that the show has enough cash to actually go to Paris rather than this green screen backdrop of her on the streets of Paris with this green screen backdrop of, cars flying by, and it almost looked gray. That was the highlight of the week for me because I was like, okay, come on. I think they have enough money in the budget to actually film this. Okay, I get it. You made the set as it pertains to the bistro. But you couldn't have gone to Paris itself? You've done this before, so I didn't get it. So she's like, Tucker's like, oh, Ashley, I know exactly where you are. She's like, you son of a bitch. You're the most loathsome, and whatever she went. I can't believe that you would stoop so low and you paid off the waiter. And he's like, I did no such thing. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Did whoever there, did they not basically corroborate your story? No? Right, which means I wasn't lying. And she's like, I don't know how you did it, but like, you disgust me. And he's like, and he was looking good with his little coat, his little pea coat and his turtleneck. I told you, I have a thing about guys with turtlenecks, just on point. So she hangs up the phone. Hello? And now Ashley's MIA. We didn't know where she went. So, which left Traci at the bistro, and she wanted to talk to the waiter. But before that, she ends up calling and leaving a message for Jackie, basically saying that we're at the bistro. Unfortunately, the story that Ashley gave or has been giving, the waiter said that didn't happen. Basically, the outcome is not it didn't work in Ashley's favor. And she's like, and furthermore, she stormed out. I don't know where she is. And if you happen to hear from her, can you let me know? And if I hear from her, I'll let you know. Well, this was a voicemail she left. And it's like hours later before Jack actually gets this message. In the meantime, she questions the waiter, and he's like, didn't happen, basically. And she's like, are you sure? No, it didn't happen. So she's like, oh my. Again, Traci, voice of reason. Oh my. I don't know if I've ever seen Traci like angry. Nope, that's it. So she's like, did my sister come back in here at some point? Nope, haven't seen her. She's like, oh boy. Well, eventually, Jack gets this message, and he was at Jabot at the time with Diane, which, by the way, she doesn't have an office. So wait, just because she is now the co-CEO, they have to share the same office? And then she just gets the little corner of the little meeting table to do whatever she's doing? That's weird. Just putting that out there. Writers, set designers, give her an office space. But then again, poor Kyle, he just kind of saunters in and saunters out, and he sits there by the coffee table. Again, that's weird. So Jack picks up the message, and he basically allows Diane to hear this, and he's like, oh my goodness, what's going on? I'm so upset. I don't know if I should just go and get on the plane to go and for my sister, but unfortunately, this is where I'm going to mention Nikki. Nikki needs my help. We'll talk about Nikki in a second. So Diane's like, well, maybe, just maybe, Ashley's account of the story didn't actually happen. Jack's like, nope, impossible. Nope, not. And Diane's like, well, if that's not the case, then the only thing I can think of is that Tucker paid the guy off. And of course, Jack's like, he's starting to lose it. Well, here's the point where I say, your opinion. Do you think Tucker paid the guy off, or it didn't happen? I'm still Team Tucker. I don't believe that it went down the way it did. Just saying. Well, the way that Ashley says it did. Because I think that, I don't think he would stoop to the level of making her go crazy. Yeah, I just don't think so. Because again, she is his Achilles heel. He still loves her. Just putting that out there. So anyway, Ashley ends up back at the bistro, and she basically asked the guy, how much did Tucker pay him? And he was like, this kind of look. I guess his lines were pretty much all over, and that was the end of the story. So it was just gestures. Well, Ashley, I don't know what to tell you. We're just going to have to see how this plays out. I feel as though Ashley may come back from the plane and just march on down to Tucker and just smack him in the face, because they like to do that. Just go full on right in his face and, end with a, you bastard, you're trying to make me go crazy. Dare I say, at some point while they were away, while being away, Traci said something to Ashley, I think she used the word crazy. And Ashley's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Yeah, which way is the wind blowing? That was crazy talk that you just went on with Ashley. Just putting it out there. But we'll see. Okay, now let's go to Nikki. Nikki. Okay, as you may or may not be aware, but Jack is now Nikki's full-fledged sponsor. And Nikki has been in and out of her little slosh fest here and there, and she's trying to hide the fact that Jack is her sponsor from Victor. And Victor is like hot on the trail because he's like, hold up, wait a minute. Jack has been fishing for information concerning Nikki, and I think that there's something going on because it just seems weird. And like we shared a drink together, and he was fishing for information, and yeah, I don't like this. I don't want him pretty much anywhere near my wife. Victor, they're friends. He doesn't have the cooties. They're friends. I don't know. But anyway, at one point in time, Jack and Nikki were in her office, and she had the door locked, which never happens. They rarely ever lock doors in these offices or their front doors to their homes. People just waltz on in whenever the spirit moves them, and it's a free-for-all. But at this time, nope, the door was locked. And there comes Victor. Nikki, are you in here? Nikki. And she's like, she doesn't want to say a word. Jack's like losing his mind because he's like, we've been caught. And she's like, don't say a word type of, and Nikki, are you in there? Nikki. So eventually Victor toddles off. He goes back to his office. Jack's like, oh my gosh, this is a close call. And you see, this is why you need to tell your husband what's going on. And she's like, I can't do it. What is he going to think of me? He's going to think less of me. He's like, no, you're getting help. Like, what? This all stems from the fact that Victor found out that there was a fire at the prison. Remember I was talking about this? I felt like Jordan escaped. I'm positive Jordan escaped. And I'm positive she's the one that started the fire. But whatever. So, yeah, so Victor doesn't tell Nikki this. Well, again, in his defense, he was by himself. I mean, is he going to just like, Nikki, there was a fire at the prison. Nikki, don't start drinking again. But just wanted to let you know that the Jordan could have escaped. Yeah, I don't see that happening. But Nikki, apparently this is like local news that there is a fire that broke out, and she happens to see this on her phone, and she's like, what? So immediately she's reaching for her drink, and she's like, and that's when, she ends up having to call Jack, and Jack's coming to save the day, and she ends up thinking Jordan has escaped, which chances are, Nikki, you're not wrong. And everybody's hoping that she's dead, but yeah, that would be too easy. So anyway, Nikki ends up, what does she end up doing? Well, at some point in time, her and Jack get caught because Victor sees her because the door is now wide open. Jack's giving Nikki a hug, goodbye, and she looks over Jack's shoulder to see Victor standing there, and he's like, oh, what the hell is going on here? What is going on? And basically Jack gives some story about, I used to be hooked on opioids, and we were together at an AA meeting. He's like, what were you both doing at the same AA meeting? Well, as I said, I'm a recovering addict, and Victor didn't even say, He was like, what were the two of you doing together at the same AA meeting? Like, he repeated himself. And he's like, well, I walked her here and whatnot. And like, it was just nice. Okay. So Victor kind of like laid off and said, Nikki, I'd do anything to protect you and whatnot, whatnot. And that's basically when he took off and went to Jabot, and then herein lies where he figures out that Ashley is MIA and that her story didn't line up with what she said and all that jazz. So, yeah, we're just basically going to watch and see what Jordan's next move will be, because at some point Nikki's phone rang and she didn't answer it because it said unknown caller or unknown number. I think unknown caller. And she started having flashbacks as to, the music that was playing when she actually did answer the phone before, when it said unknown caller. Ba 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 na 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 ba. The whole Bayou song. Yeah, so she didn't answer it. That made her jittery. It was what it was. Moving along. Pretty much the rest of the week was this. I don't even know why. I don't even know why it was in the show. Connor, and the fact that he may have some sort of learning difficulties now because he's not doing too well at the school. He's going to end up being like Nick's age by the time they show him again. I was like, and side note, at some point this week, I heard, I guess Victor had asked Nick if he wanted to grab dinner, I think. You want to grab dinner with your father? And he's like, no, can do, Pops. Um, Christian, I was going to do XYZ with. I'm like, Christian? Does anybody even remember this kid? And when's the last time we saw Christian? What, when Nick and Phyllis were together? Pretty much. Because I don't remember seeing. He's going to be way in the sky. Oh, like, these kids are bouncing around with ages left, right, and center. So again, now Connor they got a phone call that he's not doing too well at school, and Chelsea is all in the dumps, and Adam's going on about he's a bad parent because he should have been there and he wasn't there, and he chose to call his mother and not me. And Adam's with Sally at this point. I don't even want to mention her name, but anyway, she's just basically trying to soothe his furrowed brow, if you will, by saying, you're not a bad father. Stop it. Stop it. And I had parents that didn't care about me. And I just wish that they would have, cared about me just a bit like how you care about Connor. And don't do this to yourself, because I know Connor loves you. Connor loves you. I mean, what? I've seen how he is around you. Well, you haven't seen him lately, have you? And you probably won't recognize him by the time he shows up. Just saying. So it was this whole, again, back and forth between Adam and Chelsea and the whole Connor story, and insert Billy here and there, because I didn't get it. It just, to me, it came completely out of left field. Didn't need to be there. I don't get it. And apparently they even had like a call where Connor called and Adam and Chelsea were both talking to him at the same time. And I don't know. Your opinion. Do you think that needed to be in the show? I don't, because I don't even remember Connor. I remember him, but I don't remember him enough to sit back and say, well, geez, I haven't seen Connor on the show in a while. just like Aunt Meme. Where has she gone? Like, what? Jill's somewhere, but she makes her little guest spots appearance here and there. But Mamie, like, where did you fly off to? And yeah, lastly, I think we're going to talk about um, Tucker. Oh, God. Tucker and Audra with a side plate of Nate and um, a very small appetizer of Devon. Okay, so basically, Tucker and Audra, I don't know what the hell's going on with those two. Audra's trying to get into Glissade. She's trying to turn the tables back again after she basically pseudo screwed things up. And so now she basically wants a piece of the pie. So she's trying to get back into Tucker's good graces. And we see Miss Audra will do just about anything to get back in the good graces. I'm just saying. She is loose. But Tucker, Kyle, she wants to get with Nate. Who else was she with? Man, she'll sleep with anything that just brushes past her skin just to get to where she thinks she needs to be. So Tucker is all jealous because she's making little googly eyes at Nate, which here's my little small, ever so small appetizer of Devon. Devon and Nate are together. They go out for dinner and he sees Nate look over at Audra and Audra look at him and he's like, I hope you guys aren't friends. And he's like, well, man, you know what? Don't even think about her that way. Like, but, you know, we're cool. We're civil. Everything's fine, whatever. And Devon didn't get it and basically kind of was giving him a few choice words over, yeah, you shouldn't be friends with her. Devon, again, you are not the moral compass for everybody. You're slippery when wet. It is what it is. Just putting it out there. Quite frankly, I never know when you're excited from when you're sad or whatever because everything sounds exactly the same. So yeah, there's your little appetizer of Devon and him snubbing his own father when his father said something to him and he just looked down the other way. Disrespectful. Anyway, so Tucker basically is like Audra, once again, professing his undying love. Audra, you're the one for me. And she's like, get over it. Because I know that if Ashley comes, you're going to come running. And you don't have me in your thoughts. It's all about Ashley. And he's like, yes, you know, I'll admit that Ashley plays a big role in, you know, how I feel. But like who I want to be with is with you. And, you know, I get whatever, like all the feels and chills and like energy in his body and when he thinks about like the passion between the two of them. And he blithered on and she's like, okay, enough of this. You need to make a decision. Is it going to be Ashley or is it going to be me? Simple as that. And if it is Ashley, never, ever speak to me again. And he was like, wait. Awkward moment. Insert time. Yeah. Tucker ends up touching Audra. And again, Anything that brushes against Audra, she's quick to take off her clothes. And the two of them, awkward. They hit the skins to some nice little pretty music in the background. And I was like, well, this is cringeworthy. Just, they don't even, I'll leave that alone. I will leave it alone. So yeah, he has chosen Audra, so he says, and here's my prediction. Audra, you're getting played again. As much as you think that you're playing him, you are getting played by Tucker McCall. Just putting it out there. So we shall see. And yeah, it's not good. And like I said, that was pretty much the week. If I forgot something, it just didn't need to be mentioned because it was so boring outside of that whole green screen backdrop thing with Ashley. Otherwise, there was so much that probably could have happened in a positive direction, but oh no, it didn't happen. It fell flat. Completely my opinion. If you didn't catch something and you have it recorded, maybe go back, take a look, see if you feel the way that I do. Was it something that maybe I should have been like, yay? No. Until then, I'm still sticking to how I felt. Sorry. Well, there you have it, folks. That was pretty much the week. If you stuck around to the end of this video, I just want to say I am so grateful that you were able to watch and share in my favorite show. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you liked what you see and you like what you hear. And share. Why? Because sharing is caring. At least I like to think so. So we're going to see what happens next week. Let's bring back some of the host of characters like, yeah, I don't know. Phyllis, maybe. Kind of don't want to see Claire in the fetal position. She was almost out of it, but yeah, no, let's see what Crazy Jordan has in store, because I feel like she'll show up this week. I just have this feeling. All right, folks, I will bid adieu, and maybe one day I will film in Paris, minus the green screen. Take care, guys. It's been a blast. Love you. Bye.